Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Jashana here, and I am back with some more Harry Potter. I continued on with my first read of Harry Potter this month, and I read the second book, which is The Chamber of Secrets, right here. I'm kind of bummed because I'm not one to care a lot about cracking spines. To me, that's just a well-loved book, right? But with certain books, I'm kind of I'd rather not, if it's a favorite or something like Harry Potter. And the first book, I managed not to crack the spine at all. But this one came with it already a little bit cracked, and then it went from there. So it got a little cracked, but I'm not too bummed about it because these are just the UK paperbacks that are $10 a piece. I actually want to end up eventually getting, now that I know it's going to be the entire series, not just the first book, the house editions. I know what house I technically am in, but I have taken the quiz a couple of times and I kind of get different information for two particular houses. When I am done reading the series, I'll probably do I'll take the quiz again and see what I get. So what I would want to do if I do end up being two houses is every other book, get this house and then the other house. Maybe you guys can guess in the comments which houses you think I am. I might have told people previously. I digress. Oh my god. At any rate, this is the second book, and it's still, in my kind of recent wrap-up, I talked about it a little bit. I didn't want to touch too much on it. I mean, I'm not going to go into the synopsis. I think you guys know what it is, right? It's the second year at Hogwarts, and there's the Chamber of Secrets. Voldemort is trying to F shit up, and Harry and his friends are trying to stop him. There we go. It definitely still feels very much like a middle grade to me. And as I said in my previous video, and I'm sure this is going to be my general feeling throughout the entire series of reading this, is that I already know and love these characters. It's a different experience reading it after seeing the movies time and time again and knowing the story so well, knowing the characters so well. It's just different. It's definitely not the experience I would have reading it if I had never seen the movies. But for my experience, for what it is, I enjoyed this. I did like this a little bit better than the first one. I still ended up rating this 4 Pashinicorns. On my 1 to 10 more detailed scale, it got a 7.75, so very high. It's just, it's hard because I'm not emotionally invested, and I think it's just because I'm well, I know what's gonna happen. I know these characters, I know what they're gonna do. I know who is going to be in trouble later. I already know, so it's hard to get super into it, I guess. But I'm enjoying it. I'm definitely going to continue. I already bought the third book. It is coming in the mail, so I'll read that one next month. I can't remember. Oh, The Prisoner of Azkaban. That's the next one. I remember really liking that movie. Which one would be my favorite? I don't know. I'm definitely seeing what people are talking about with Snape. Even in the movies, seeing the movies initially, I was oh my god, always, Snape, he loves love, it's so sweet, blah, 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 it's epic love story. But then people brought some things to light that I was oh yeah, that's kind of true. And then they're saying in the books that it's really bad with him being kind of awful. And yeah, he is. And oh, P.S. So I totally forgot. Oh my god. In the book, Ginny catches Percy. There's this whole subplot or side story with Percy creeping around, and they're kind of noticing he's creeping around, but they don't know why. And I was kind of what is this? And first of all, that's just kind of random, and I don't know why it's in the book necessarily, because nothing. It's just to add tension and mystery, I think. Ooh, why is he creeping around? Because then it comes out that it's a perfectly legitimate reason. He has a girlfriend, a secret girlfriend. And it has nothing to do with the larger plot happening here. But there's a part where they talk about Ginny catching him doing something, and the way it's described, I was what did she catch him doing? She walked in on him doing something embarrassing, and it just seemed really explicit. Seemed like she walked in on him enjoying himself. That's where my head went, the way that it was explained and described, that's all that was really said, is like she walked in on him doing something embarrassing. And like she was hella embarrassed to even talk about it. And then it ended up he was just like making out with a girl. Like, okay, calm down, Jenny. Like, don't make it so dramatic, because it seemed like it was a bigger issue. And then I almost forgot. I wanted to talk about something that I had this video on my watch later list forever because I wanted to watch it after I read this book. But Gabby Arnault, she talked about like plot holes in the Chamber of Secrets. And one of them being how Harry and Ron were trying to like listen in on Malfoy's conversations, right? Like that was their goal with the whole coming up with the potion, the polyjuice potion that Hermione had to do for like a month, and they had to like sneak around to get these ingredients and whatever. And she brought up the point of like, why didn't they just use the invisibility cloak to go listen to Draco? Like, that would have been so much easier. And I was like, oh my God, yes. All right, that's all. Like I said, I kind of rambled. I feel I'm going to have fun editing this mishmash of weirdness because I don't want to talk about the plot too much. Everybody knows pretty much what it is. And if you don't know, if you've never read Harry Potter or watched the movies, I mean, I want to say like at least I watched the movies, but like I hadn't read the books in 20 years, so I can't talk a whole heck of a lot. Being an avid reader my whole life, why I never read Harry Potter. Sometimes I feel like people, like when I say like, oh yeah, I'm an avid reader, and then I say like, oh, but I've never read Harry Potter, I feel like they're like, are you an avid reader though? And like, yeah, I am. Like I've been reading obsessively my entire life. There was a time in college, like I said, where I didn't read as much for leisure because I was reading a lot for college. But I mean, since I could read, like I always had a book in my hands as a kid, constantly. And I just, when Harry Potter came out, I just wasn't really into fantasy. Like I said, there was a boy on the cover and it was like magic and wizards, and I just wasn't into it at the time. So I just never picked it up, and then it blew up into this whole thing. And I just kind of was like, nah, I don't care. But I'm glad I'm reading it now. Let me know in the comments, like I said, what house you guess that I might be. Or what 2 houses. Yeah, that would, I feel like that would be the more difficult thing. Like, guess what 2 houses I kind of flip-flop between. Okay, I'm done rambling. I swear to God. I'm sorry. Holy crap. The frick just happened. I talked for like 20 minutes about nothing. Thank you so much for your time, guys. As always, I very much appreciate it. And I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.